How to never get denied for a loan again.
You know what? It's a lot of things that we don't know as a community that we need to know.
Turn that penny into 5.3 million. You want to learn how to make your money work hard for you rather than working hard for money? I want you to be there. Tune in. Hey, it's me again, and I am here with my girl. Welcome back. Now, we learned a lot over these few sessions. We learned so much about the insurance cash flow concept. Let us recap. This is not about how can I, but how can I add value to you? How can we add value to one another? Now, remember, we're talking about the magic of leverage. How can we leverage the money that a lot of times we don't even see? Why? Because we're giving it away. Some of us are paying the interest that we could have earned when we pay cash for things. And some of us are just paying interest simply because we're always financing everything. So keep it in mind, I made a lot of money. I made a very good living in real estate. My background is real estate. But when I discovered how to leverage my own money through policies, I was blown back. This was an opportunity that I can now utilize the money through dividend paying policies that is going to pay a return back to me from understanding something that has been around for over 200 years. That's right, 200 years. How is it that we haven't even touched the surface of something that has been in our faces for over 200 years? Now, if I don't have your attention by now, I hope by the end of this session, you will definitely be convinced that insurance cash flow is for you, just like I discovered it was for me as well. Now, when I talked about guaranteed approvals, I'm sure you're probably thinking, what is she talking about? Guaranteed approvals. How can you get a guaranteed loan when you have less than perfect credit, or when you don't have the finances, or if you don't have the job? Well, through the insurance cash flow concept, you don't need those things. What you need is understanding of how dividend paying policies actually work, how you can accumulate cash flow. So we're going to talk more about that. You're going to learn so much in this short rundown that I'm going to share on today, that if you're not calling me by the time this session is over, I'm sure you will be calling me by the time this session is over, right? So let me just say to you how guaranteed approvals work. Guaranteed approvals is simple. If I am accumulating cash in my policy over a period of time, and I'm building up that cash in my policy. So let's imagine this is my bank, your bank versus the YLIP. You heard me talk about that. Your life insurance policy, that's my acronym, your life insurance policy. So if I'm building up a policy where I can now have what is called accumulated cash value built up over, let's assume I can put away about $2,100 a month in this same savings that I would put over here if I had in a traditional bank account. And if I can save that money over a 4-year period, I have just earned $100,000, not including what the insurance companies pay for your money being housed in their insurance company. Remember, we talked about your money has to have a permanent residence, right? So this is the permanent residence. Now, not only do you have $100,000, you're sitting on $106,000. $106,000 accumulating, compounding over time. Over here in your traditional bank, you can do the same thing. Sure, why not? Keeping in mind, the banks only pay about 0.25% on your money. And we wonder why a lot of people just don't believe in the banking institution. For most of us, our money is just probably somewhere under our mattress. However, that money still is not doing what it is supposed to do, and that is always, always be working hard for you. Remember, I talked about two types of people. Either your money is at work or you are at work. So, which one are you? I want my money to be at work. I want my money to be at work. And I want you to have that same privilege, to have your money at work. The guaranteed approval of being able to finance your own car, your own house. Why are we continuously making the banks, the institutions rich off of simple interest, charging us high interest rates on our money? If I finance this and I don't pay, who's coming? The foreclosure. If I don't pay, this house will be foreclosed. If I finance this car and I don't pay, who's coming? The repo. If I don't pay, this car is repoed, okay? The YLIP, I pull out that $100,000, the house is paid for. If I don't pay, no one's coming. The car, if I pull out that money to cash out this car and I don't pay back, no one's coming. Not only is this your money and you can choose not to pay back, but I want to share something so powerful, and that is learning how to pay the loan back and how you will now recapture all of the interest that you would have paid to the finance company. So why not pay yourself back? But let's talk more about how wealth creators are creating wealth. Why are they creating wealth and we're still here on the debt line, or maybe right above on the saver line? But you never get above this simple line, this simple threshold: debtors, savers. No, we're talking about wealth creators. I want to be in that cloud, the wealth creators. I want to be able to leverage my money. I want to be able to finance my own cars and my own houses and whatever else I desire, right? Not only do I leverage and I earn up to 6.125% on my money, but this is where it really gets better. The money that you borrow out of the policy that you have cash accumulation built up in is still there, as if you never borrowed the money. So what am I saying? Yes, the $106,000 that I needed to finance the house, that I needed to buy the car with, is actually still there, earning 6.125% interest as if I never took it out. That is right, because actually all I really did was borrow against what I have saved up. Now, if I'm teaching you the power of compounding, I think it was Einstein that said it best, one of the wonders of the world, and that's compounding interest. If I could take 1 cent and let that penny double, yes, 1 cent, and let that penny double over 30 days, Google, do the math. 1 penny doubled over 30 days is 5.3,068,709.12. That's 1 penny doubled over 30 days. Are you kidding me? How is this possible? And how is it that we have not understood the magic of leveraging our own money? So I hope I have your attention by now, because this is some powerful stuff I'm sharing. And this is why it's so important that this knowledge is shared. One of the things that I discovered just in understanding the concept of becoming your own banker, infinite banking, the insurance cash flow, was not only do I have the power of leverage, but I can take out a loan regardless of my credit. Now, of course you want to be able to have great credit, but if I can have an opportunity to still leverage my lifestyle and not have credit as a barrier or something that's holding me back from being able to go to the banks and get a loan, and I can take the same money that I'm earning in whatever job that I have. Now, $25,000 may not be something that you can start off with. One of the great things about leveraging and the power of understanding the YLIP, that I can work and I can design a policy that is, I guess, suited to fit whatever your financial needs are. So if you can only put $100 a week, a month, whatever you can do, I can design the policy to fit your needs. Now, a lot of times people are often saying, well, I want to be able to get $100,000 in 4 years because that's what you said. No, I said you have to be disciplined. If you can put away the first year, you'll be able to borrow. The second year, you'll be able to borrow. The third year, you'll be able to borrow against what you have in accumulated cash value. Now, the question becomes, how disciplined are you? Are you still running over here to see what they can give you when it comes to borrowing, staying just below the debt line? Or are you ready to climb into what I call the wealth creators? Are you ready to soar as a wealth creator? Because as you put this money away, remember, insurance has been around for over 200 years. This is not about a risk. This is not about taking your money and putting it into a stock and, oh my God, what if the stock crashes and what happens to my money? The insurance policy industry always, just like a bank, that money is guaranteed. So when the stock market crashes, what is left? Your money is still there. So as I'm accumulating cash, and let's assume the stock market crash the way we had to crash some years back, when that happened and I had cash accumulation, I could have went out and just cashed out everything that I could afford because I understood the power of wealth and how we can pass this on to our heirs tax-free. Now, one of the things we're going to talk about, we're going to go more into the details of how the tax-free concept works. We're going to talk more about how you are now the bank. You're going to learn so much more just in understanding, but I wanted to make sure that leveraging and understanding the power of leverage and how you can now come out of debt and rise above what has been keeping us hostage for so long, for so many years. It's time to break that cycle of thinking that the only way I can accumulate nice and have nice things in life is by borrowing and then making someone else rich. Well, if you're going to borrow anyway, why not make yourself? Why not create what you know you can create for yourself? That's the power of guaranteed approvals. That's the power of learning how to make your money grow. There's power in understanding. You hear me say it all the time, in all thy getting, get a understanding. So we're going to talk more about that. We're going to come back. I hope that this has been a wealth of information. Like I said, if you're not calling by now and setting up your consultation or your appointment, by the time I finish, I'm sure I'll be hearing from you soon. I want to thank you. I'm jumping.
Wonderful. Oh, she did it. Oh, she did it. Live your blessed life.